Homeless in Canada. My first experience of homelessness in Canada, I could remember. I was in my late teens. I don't think I was 20 yet. But if I could recollect properly, I think we just moved to Coronation and Fielding in NDG. And at this point, I was living with my mom, my younger sister, and my brother. I have two sisters. One is the older, one is younger. So I'm speaking about the younger one. So she was living with us, my mom, my stepdad, and one of my brother. I'm not sure if my other brother was living with us at this point, but I do remember my stepdad. He was a DJ, and he had all different type of equipment. He had speakers big from ceiling to floor. And I mean, yeah, some big bass, like I'm saying 12-inch, maybe 15-inch, probably even a little more. Because he had them big wooden box, like I couldn't move one myself. And I mean, and he had a few of those. He had his mid-range separate, his bass separate, box, long boxes with with about six tweeters in them. So he was a DJ. So he used to play in clubs and stuff like that. Big record box, big records, turntables, all of this, right? So he was deep into his music, and he had all of this in the apartment where we live. And at this point now, at my age, I'm an aspiring artist. I loved music. I loved reggae. I wanted to sing reggae and do dancehall music and stuff like that, right? So I had a speaker, a small speaker that I found outside, maybe a 10-inch, with a one tweeter in it. So I used to use that to play music, and I had a cassette deck with a radio. I used to tip when they playing music on the radio. I used to record it so I could listen it over and get in my mood and my range of getting into the music, into being an artist. And I remember my mom always used to complain every time I'm trying to sing my music, every time I'm trying to play any music, anything like that. She always used to complain, and she always used to try to argue with me because of this. But bear in mind, my stepdad, who is her husband at the time, he have all the equipment you need. He could have played in a park. That's the kind of equipment he had. Big amplifiers, equalizers, a whole bunch of rack, a big rack. When I say a big long rack, full with different kind of equipments. So I remember I was playing music one day, and I think I got in an argument with my mom because she thought she kept saying I'm loud when I'm trying to do my little singing, writing my little lyrics. So I think we got in an argument, and my stepdad came home, and he picked up the argument. So me and him got into some argument. Then it led to me and him scuffling. You know what I mean? I was in my late teens, so I'm not trying to let no man that is not my father rough me up type of thing. So we had a little scuffle, and from that scuffle, I remember that the cops came. I don't know who called the cops. I don't remember if it's my mom. Well, I don't know if it's my mom or maybe the neighbors that heard the corrosion downstairs, heard the noise, so they called the police. And I remember when the police came, I was in the lobby outside, right? And one of the police I remember was a female cop. She was in the lobby talking to me while her partner went inside and I guess was talking to my stepdad. I don't know what they were saying, but I was giving my story out here. So at one point, they took me inside, right? They took me inside where my stepdad and my mom was, and cops, they were talking to my mom, and then they lined up the two of us. They're like, "Madam, one of these guys got to go because the both cannot stay in this apartment because we don't want this argument to continue and the fight to continue." So they told her she has to be the one to choose who gets to go. So I remember she actually pointed at me. She actually chose me. I was I was so shocked. I was so devastated. I was so crushed at that moment that This is my mom, right? She brought me into this world. She brought me to this country, and she's going to choose a man over me, a big grown man who has 10 times, 50 times the music equipment that I have, plays 10 times louder music that I do. And I was only trying to bring out my creativity from inside to become an artist. And she chose me. And I remember the cop said to me, the female cop that was police that was talking to me outside, I remember she telling me, I have to get a bag and I have to pack the things that I want. So I got a bag, a school bag that I used to take to work, and I packed my stuff in it, some clothes, toothbrush, toothpaste, stuff like that that I know I'm going to need. But during all this time, I'm still crushed. I have no idea what I'm going to do because now I'm going to be homeless. It's my first time becoming homeless in a foreign country, and plus it's cold out here. It's not like back home. So I packed my bags, all of that, and they led me outside and they encouraged me to don't stay around the area because it's not going to be good, me and him running into each other and all of that. So I left the area for a little bit until they leave, you know. When nightfall now, this is when it becomes a bit frustrating because I don't have no friends in the area at this time. I don't really know much people that close to go ask them if I could sleep at their place. But something clicked in my head. Oh, when we moved in here, there's storage room in the basement, and in the basement, if I could get in there, at least it's warm. So I remember going downstairs and I broke the lock. I think I had a long screwdriver and I yanked the lock off and I went into the storage room. And this storage room, they all together, but they have separate compartment where you could put your stuff. Everybody from the building could put their extra stuff that they can't fit in their apartment. But these things are not big. They're like, I say max 5 by 4 or something like that, if you're lucky. So I remember going down there and there was some cardboard box down there that people left back because, you know, they unpacked some of their stuff. They have cardboard bags. They probably just put them on the side so they could use them later on. So I took those cardboard boxes and I laid them out in the little locker there, you know. And I left the door open because it's the only way I could have sleep because I'm kind of a bit tall. So I spread them out and I put my bag as a pillow and I slept there. That's where I slept for my first night being homeless in the basement there. But I was so aware of things. I made sure I had to get up early before the janitor came because I know the janitor, he have some of his cleaning stuff down there, so he has to come down there. So I make sure I leave early enough. So my first night, I didn't sleep at all because I felt weird. I know I'm still in the building where they told me I should not be. And it was just a nightmare being down there. You know what I mean? It's not an experience anybody want, but it's just life, right? It's process. We have to go through this process. So I remember I did that a couple of nights, and then one one morning, maybe I overslept, and if I could remember correctly, it was this guy named Doggies. He's a calypso singer from Grenada. He was the janitor, and I remember one morning I heard somebody coming through the door, and I kind of got up in a way, so he didn't catch me actually sleeping there, but he catch me in the locker room. And for me, that's another moment that was so crushed because in my head it's like, oh, this guy find out that I'm sleeping down here, so now I'm busted. Now I gotta find somewhere else to go, somewhere else to sleep. So believe you me, man, I left there that day and I keep roaming, trying to figure out what I could do, wonder what I could do, and I just kept sleeping at different places where I could get in. That's what I keep doing. And I had this friend named Marvin. And, they had a grocery store named Island Pride, and they used to have a black van where they used to do their grocery in, and they lived in Rosedale. I think they still live there. And I remember one evening after they closed the shop, right? After they closed the shop, we walked up, me, Rookie, and his brother at this point. We walked up because they're going Rosedale, and after Rosedale is Coronation, so I have to go a block up. So we walked up, they went home, and I walked like I was going home because I didn't tell nobody I was homeless. I was too, you know what I mean? That's not something you want to tell people because they, in my head, it's like they're going to laugh at me, they're going to look down at me, and all this type of thing. So I waited for them to go, and then I took at least 30 minutes or something like that, 45 minutes at max, and then I walked down and go up to where they live because I know that black van that they have, they used to park it in their driveway. And this is the van they did all their grocery in, you know? So this day, I remember that van was stink with saltfish. If you know the smell of raw saltfish, yeah. So I remember walking up the street, and I remember seeing the van. And when I seen the van, I'm like, okay, jackpot, this is where I'm sleeping tonight. So I walked up the street, you know, I walk up and down, checking to make sure that the lights are off and everybody's sleeping, you know. And this time, I if I could remember, Rookie Marvin, he was sleeping in the basement. The basement was his place, and the basement window was right there, but he always blocked off his window, so I wasn't worried about him seeing me, you know. And so I snuck in the van, you know, and I had a blanket, a little blanket with me, so that kind of helped me. And there was cardboard box on the floor of the van because that's what they, like I said, that's what they used to move to do their grocery and all of that. And like I said, that van was stink of saltfish. If you know the smell of raw saltfish, it was stink of saltfish. But I had no choice, so I had to sleep there. So I slept there the night, got up early, do my thing, and I did it for a few nights, you know, until one night I think I went out. I went out with some friends, and I got there late, you know, late in the night, probably 2, 3, something like that, you know, and I overslept. And one morning, I think Pops, the owner for the van, he woke up and he went to his bathroom. And over the bathroom, you could see the van from the bathroom. So for some reason, he looked through the bathroom window, and he seen me in the van. And from that, trust me, I was crushed again because me, I'm like, oh my God. No, this guy find out what's going on with me. He found out I'm sleeping in his van. So now the whole neighborhood gonna know, oh, I'm homeless, I don't have nowhere to stay, and I'm sleeping in his van. Especially when Marvin find out, these times we're young, so who knows? I'm telling myself he's gonna go tell everybody my secret, which was I'm homeless, I got nowhere to stay. And when we walk home, I'm pretending I'm going home and just double back and come sleep in their van. So I was devastated, you know. Cut a long story short, I left, and I remember when Margaret seen me, which is Marvin's mom, she was kind of pissed at me because she's like, you could have told me this, you know. You could have told me that you have nowhere to go. I would have let you sleep in the house, blah, blah, blah. But me, I wasn't thinking like that because now I'm kind of in a mood where I want to hide from everybody. I don't want everybody to see me. I don't want people to know my business. So I kind of got out the area for a little bit and start doing some couch surfing. People that I knew, I would pretend that I'll go chill with them at night and then pretend it's too late to go home, so I'll just crash on their couch. So I did that for a little bit, you know what I mean? Until I went back to DG, and that's when I told her, and she was kind of pissed at me because she's a good lady, you know, one of those ladies that's go to church, believe in God, believe in doing good for people. And I knew if I did tell her, she would have actually helped me out. But at this point in time, I didn't want nobody to find out because it was embarrassing to me for people to even find that out that I have nowhere to go. You know what I mean? I would be on the block with everybody every day, kicking it like it's all cool and all of that, doing everything normally until nighttime. That's where my struggles, my stress, my worries, that's where everything hit me hard. So, to say all of that, man, sometimes we just gotta open up to people, regardless of what people gonna say, because that's the only way we're gonna find help. Because if I did open up to that lady from even that day that they found out, I probably would have had somewhere to stay. It would have probably been easier for me. I didn't have to go couch surf. I probably didn't have to do half of the thing that I was doing. I would have had a proper place to sleep. I would have a proper place to shower. I would have probably even had breakfast in the morning, you know. But the pride sometimes keeps us back, and the pride sometimes it could be very, very damaging to us. So, like I say, man, that's my first experience of being homeless in this country. I would never forget it until the day I die, because I still can't believe that the woman that brought me in this world, the woman that brought me to this country, chose another man over me. I could understand he's your husband, but this is a big grown man that's been in this country for a long time. Have his mother here, have his families here, have people here, places he could go. But she chose me that has nowhere to go. I don't know if it's because she was pissed off or she just wanted to punish me or whatever the case is, but she chose me. She told the police I was the one that had to go. So that's what led to me going through my first time being homeless and the struggles that came with it. But I give thanks to God because everything that happened to me in my lifetime led me to be the person I am today. And I'm proud of the person I am today. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is, people. We live and we learn. And sometimes we know that even the ones that we expect to have our backs, they don't. The ones that we put our trust in, they let us down. The ones that we love, they don't love us back. But that cannot stop us from becoming who we want to become. That cannot stop us from achieving what we want to achieve, you know? So, people, like I said, it's my first experience being homeless in Canada. Don't judge me for it because it's a part of my journey and I embrace it fully, you know? So, people, if you want more of this kind of stories, more of my life, you know, subscribe to the channel, share the videos with friends. Maybe it will motivate somebody. Maybe somebody right now as I'm speaking going through the same situation and don't know what to do. Maybe it would inspire them, motivate them to keep on moving. Maybe they're at the point where they want to just give up and give in. But to know that there's somebody that they probably know or probably seen before went through all of this, it probably could help them through. So share this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be dropping more videos. Have yourself a blessed day.